Hello and welcome everybody. If you don't know who I am, I'm Big Fauty. I'm here with Ryan today, aka Most Dope Sounds. How you doing, Ryan?
I'm doing fantastic, my friend. How are you?
I'm great, man. I'm so excited to get these started, and I was so excited to start off with you. If you guys don't know, me and Ryan both make Mac Miller content over on TikTok. We collaborate all the time. We become good friends, so it's super awesome to start
Very
off
good
with
friends
somebody.
at this point, man.
Absolutely,
We've been
absolutely.
at this like more than 6 months now.
That's what I was saying. We've been grinding. So
We
it's
really
super
have.
cool to start off.
And it's
with
my
somebody.
birthday today too, bro.
Yeah.
This might
Everybody.
be coming out on my birthday. I don't know when you're planning on putting this out.
Yeah, I don't know when we'll be done, but it's gonna be awesome. So
Yeah.
everybody wish Ryan a happy birthday in the comments there because you already know.
You
If you
already
guys
know.
want to go tune in to Ryan's TikTok or his Instagram, you can go find that down in the description. It'll all be there. I'll probably link it on the screen as well, so it'll be perfect.
Thank you.
So let's go start, Ryan. How did you get into music in the first place? What are some artists that introduced you to music?
Sure. I was introduced to music really young, actually, and my background in music started in classic rock and more alternative type music. My dad is actually a radio DJ in Chicago on 94.7 WLS. So I have been around radio equipment in the studio, and being from that background, classic rock was definitely where I started my journey with music. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
My tastes have certainly evolved over time. I can't say I listen to as much classic rock as I do hip hop nowadays because that's generally where my
Interest lie. Yeah, I think that's similar for everybody. I know for me especially, I started listening to classic rock in my dad's pickup truck. When I was 7 years old driving along.
Exactly,
So
man.
I definitely know where you're coming from with that.
Yeah, I think
one.
the first CD
sure.
I ever got was AC/DC Greatest Hits, and then I remember like on my first laptop I ever got as a kid, I had the live video version of AC/DC. I also had the Green Day one, so I would watch like live concerts of AC/DC and Green Day, like Thunderstruck. That got me so hyped, bro. Red Hot Chili
That's
Peppers is
fantastic.
also one of my favorite bands, like, of all time.
You can't not get hyped up to Green Day and Thunderstruck and AC/DC, man. It's impossible.
Life changing.
It's infectious. It's
Life changing.
wild.
Have you ever played that drinking game before where you have to like drink every time they say Thunderstruck?
No, but that sounds deadly, man. That sounds deadly. What's some other, you said you listened to classic rock when you were
Yeah.
younger and stuff, and,
Yeah.
bands like AC/DC and Green Day always,
Yeah.
get you out of your seat and get you hyped. What's some
Yeah.
music now that you listen to that, you're in a bad mood, it flips it right around?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Mac Miller is my all-time GOAT favorite artist, bar
Absolutely.
none, above all else. Can't, like, no one even comes close. But I would say, notably, other than that, Lil Wayne probably had the biggest influence
Oh, yeah.
on me in, like, middle school when I first started listening to hip-hop, like, as I kind of evolved out of my classic rock alternative phase. I remember hearing Linkin Park and Jay-Z's Encore for the first time. That might have been the first song that like ever got me to get out of my shell with rock and like into hip hop.
That's
I remember
awesome.
hearing that, and that changed my life. Kanye West was like one of the first artists I downloaded on iTunes in 2006. I'm a little older than you. I'm turning 26 today, so I'm dating myself a little bit. But yeah, I was in 5th grade in 2006, and on iTunes I bought like Good Life or Stronger or something on iTunes. And Jesus Walks. Yeah.
Kanye is a good one, man. A lot of people, oh yeah, a lot of people in the comment section of my videos always talking about Kanye and their influence and his influence on them. Seems the general consensus is when people listen to Kanye and when people's favorite artist is Kanye is they believe in themselves. Is what I'm saying. A lot of people are saying that Kanye and his music helped them get to a stage where they didn't believe in themselves and their own abilities, and now after listening to Kanye's music and his message, they find the strength to do whatever it is they go out to do.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And the first person from TikTok that comes to mind for me is Brigcanthang,
Oh,
because
I love Brig, man.
we both love Brig. He's amazing. He's honestly probably the best at what he does in our niche.
He's
You
great,
know,
man. He comes up with a lot of, awesome formats for his videos and stuff like that.
he does. I mean, I
Me
derive a
too.
lot of
Me too.
inspiration from some of the content that I've done. We've done lists and stuff. Maybe I mean we could talk about that a little bit. Maybe if we
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to
yeah.
discuss some of the
Let's
toxic culture on TikTok. I
absolutely.
mean we don't have to do that now or now. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter. I was kind of liking the
sure.
conversation we were going with, like influences
Let's keep
and
that
growing
going
up
then.
with music and stuff. So
What's your earliest memory with Mac Miller's music?
let's talk about how I found Mac Miller. Okay, right. So I found Mac Miller in high school. I had just started driving. I was 16 years old. I was a sophomore in high school, and it was 2011. So I got my license in February, and then Best Day Ever came out in March 2011. And as soon as I found Best Day Ever, I listened to it front to back. I downloaded it on datpiff.com. Like, I had the files on my computer. I had like put them on my iPod Touch at the time, and
Yeah,
I'm so dating myself right now. But this is how we did it back then. This is nearly 10 years ago. This is how we did it. I remember as soon as I listened to Best Day Ever, I was like, what else does this guy have? And this was when blogs were big for music. So I remember reading articles about him. And you have to remember in 2011, he had already come up from kids. He was doing shows. Like, he
okay.
was really popping off at this point. This is like 8 months before Blue Side Park. And so I went back and I listened to Kids, and I was floored at that point. So like it's been love at first listen with Mac Miller, and growing up with him has been the most rewarding experience. So like every single release after that, from the mixtapes like I Love Life, Thank You, and Blue Slide Park, to Macadelic, to Watching Movies, to Faces, to Good AM, all of them. I've been there. I was there at like midnight, or at least the next day.
That's the beautiful thing about Mac and his music and his fans is a lot of people that listen to Mac Miller and love Mac Miller feel like they grew up with
Yeah.
him. You know what I mean? Especially from the Pittsburgh
Yeah.
area. There's tons of people that were on to Mac Miller when he was big in the YouTube game. He was dropping kids and stuff like that, and followed him ever
Yeah.
since.
That was the thing
I'm
that
sure
was
there's just as
different
many
about
people that have
Mac
hopped
and
on.
other rappers at the time. Is he had YouTube on lock.
Absolutely, he had the friends with the
He did.
connections in the YouTube game and was able to get his YouTube channel up and professional on a small budget, and that's really what
Exactly. I
propelled
mean,
him
you
up to the
have to
next
think
level, in
about
my
what he
opinion.
was doing at age 17, age 18 was kind of unheard of. And I mean, I don't
Yeah,
see very many like kids these days doing what he's doing, even with the
absolute,
digital
absolutely.
capabilities that people have at their fingertips now.
It's yeah, it's definitely changed a lot.
Oh,
Like
yes.
Mac was a pioneer
Without a
for
doubt.
independent rappers in the YouTube game. You know what I mean? Yeah, nowadays, you'll see a lot of people on SoundCloud and stuff like that. Before that, it was YouTube, and Mac was killing it on those YouTube videos. You can even go now and look YouTube videos like Kool-Aid and Frozen Pizza. The view count on those videos, the like ratios is astronomical, and what's even crazier is the comments. If you go on
Absolutely.
any of those videos and you scroll through any of the comments, you see so many people showing love and even just having conversations with Mac, even though obviously it's not a conversation, but it's a way for them to air out their feelings, and it's beautiful in my opinion.
I remember right after he died, I almost every day or every couple days I would watch the views on his YouTube channel go up, and I remember, I don't know the exact numbers, but I think it was like 40 or 50% increase in his total channel views, like within the month or two after his death, which was crazy. But he already
It's
had close
crazy.
to, if not, he had maybe surpassed 1 billion views just around the time of his death or when Swimming came out. So you think about 1 billion views, and when you said about him being a pioneer, he never was a SoundCloud rapper. He never, things are different, but like
Yeah,
he He put all his mixtapes on datpiff.com. He was doing live streaming in a way that people weren't doing, that people aren't even doing now. He, he used Twitter in a way that artists didn't at the time, and in a way that they don't now. He just was his own. He had his own way of doing things.
What about in 20 years? What do you think Mac's legacy is going to be? Do you think people are going to remember Mac as, this creative who was able to switch up his sound over time, or do you think it's going to be a tragic story?
Wow, that question gave me chills.
It's tough.
No. Yeah, but yeah, I want to formulate my thoughts here, because here's what I would have told you before his death, like right after Swimming came out, and we were ignorant to the fact that he was about to die in a couple weeks. The response to Swimming was amazing, and the musical shifts that he went through, and mind you, like, no one even knew Circles was going to be a thing, which completely changed the ball game. But
Facts.
I think his musical trajectory and his artistry was setting him up to be like a Paul McCartney or David Bowie or Elton John type figure in music. And that's a lot of influence right there. I think he was becoming less of a rapper and more of a musician, especially working with John Bryan and getting the natural sounds and the real music in his production, and just increasing sonically. People will always love him for Kids and what he did around 2010 and 2011. But then also you think of the way releasing Blue Slide Park and his shift in sound to like Macadelic and Watching Movies. That's a completely even different aspect to Mac Miller's career that needs to be talked about as well, because he went through so many changes as an artist over his career. And then the change in sound, not really a change in sound, but the change in tone of his lyrics and life and the story he was telling from Faces to Good AM.
Whenever I listen to Mac, or whenever I think about Mac in terms of his discography, I always like break it down in my mind in terms of eras, you know what I mean? Because when I listen to something like Kids and Blue Slide Park, compared to when I listen to something like Watch Movies with the Sound Off or Faces, it feels like I'm listening to two completely different artists.
Totally,
you know
man.
what I mean? Especially when you throw in, another era of Swimming and Circles. You know what I mean? Those projects, you go ahead and you compare Circles to Blue Slide Park, and I can't think of any similarities besides it's great. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. And then the Divine Feminine is kind of just its own project out there in space.
I would put that one with you, Larry Lovestein tape.
True.
You know what I mean?
True, but yeah, some people don't even know about that. There's so many hidden projects that Mac has that people don't even know about. Like my friend on Snapchat, his TikTok username is Will Smith Staint, and he's a Mac head as well. He comments on my stuff sometimes, but he showed me this website called listentomac.org. And
you sent me that. I saw that the other day.
Oh my God. It is crazy because it attempts to outline the exact era in chronological order of his discography of like when everything came out. Every song, Lucy's, Leaks, like
absolutely
releases, official releases, everything.
It's wild. And I'm going to link that down in the description of the video if you guys want to check it out later. So this way it'll be easy for everybody to find, all you Mac heads. I know you're going to be looking for that.
It is such an interesting database to look at if you've been a fan for a long time, to see where everything stands. And then looking at the oldest stuff, there is certainly things you haven't heard. Like, I have heard of the mixtape Sour Hour, but I didn't realize. Like, I have not. I gave it the briefest listen maybe the longest time ago, and I totally don't remember it at all, and I just revisited it, and it is crazy to hear that. And that was before Kids even came out.
It's wild. It's so crazy to think about how much music Mac has made. You know what I mean? more than I don't want to say more than any artist today, because obviously I have no
Yes.
knowledge of what they're doing behind closed doors, but the amount of tapes and work, and not only, completed songs, but production tapes. We could talk about the Larry Fisherman tapes. We could talk about Run On Sentences. These
Yes.
works of art and
Right.
crazy
Run-on
amount
sentences.
of
Yep.
music is wild to think about how much we've seen and how much we haven't, because we've seen how many official Mac albums are there and projects?
Yeah.
There's like 11 at least in full, when you consider mixtapes and stuff. It's got to be,
I think it's 6. No, well, when you consider mixtapes, it's
what
more.
rapper you
it's,
know with that
I think
catalog,
with
you know
Live
what I
from
mean?
Space, it might be
that isn't a major
14.
name. You could talk about Kanye's got tons of projects.
I
You
know.
know what I mean?
Well, the coolest thing about Mac Miller was his studio rat personality. I mean, there was Larry Fisherman, but
Absolutely.
like even as Mac Miller, he was just a studio rat, and I mean,
he really loved doing it too. Is what
experimented
really
with every kind
does
of
it for
sound.
me. You know what I mean? It's not like he was just out here making music for money or just for fame or whatever. This is something that Mac was passionate about, and that comes through in every single project, every single song, even ones that Mac didn't have full control over. Listen to Circles, and you could hear the passion behind it.
I think that's why it resonates to this day with people, even more than 2 years after his death, and it will continue to. That, like, going back to your 20 years question, I think there are going to be Mac heads forever. There are going to be people that are listening to Circles and showing showing their vinyl to their kids someday. That's going to be the most beautiful thing.
I cannot wait
to share that music with your kids someday.
With
I think
my children or my family, the beautiful music that moves me. You know what I mean? It's amazing. I say all the time that I have all these people, and you have all these people that we call friends, that we can share music that we love with, and it's even better of how it's going to be in the future.
It's a big part of my life as well. I've found great passion and solace in the community on TikTok, sharing my love for Mac Miller, because I don't necessarily have the full outlet in my real life with that. I mean, I have friends that are certainly Mac Miller fans, but not to the extent that I get to share that joy and passion for an artist that means so much to me, like I do on TikTok. And I get DMs all the time, and just get to talk to people, and it fills my heart. That's why I continue to do this, and I'm sure it's the same for you, because you talk to these people and they have so much
100%.
love for him.
And let's talk about that more.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And everyone's gonna know what we're talking about. Everyone who's watching this and cares
100%.
about this content is gonna know what we're talking about.
Let's dig deep into that too, because you're, especially on TikTok, you're someone that I look to for community. You know what I mean? The way you build your community on TikTok, talking about people that support you and people that you support, putting on other rappers that you believe in through your platform, and just showing love to other people in the community is a beautiful thing. And I wanted to pick your brain specifically in this interview about what do you think it means to build a community, and how important is building a community when it comes to music and when it comes to fans?
That's such a great question, and it's like my main objective on TikTok is to engage and talk to people about these things, because I like that you brought up the other goal I have with my platform is to discover new artists and people who are on the scene. And I just got a DM from an artist I'm really excited about a couple days ago named Sweepy. I'll talk about him a little bit. He's from Copenhagen, Denmark, actually.
That's awesome.
And he's on the lo-fi scene. And his latest project, Deleted Scenes, that's what it's called. There's a Ben Beal feature on that, and it's so good. The song's called All Good. You guys should go check it out. His name is Sweepy, Sweepy.
Absolutely.
On Spotify, all platforms. And then the song I think you should check out is All Good with Ben Beal.
Perfect, and that's something
Fantastic.
That's something we'll link for you down below as well. This way you can find it really easy.
Awesome. But that's the other thing I'm passionate about, other than Mac Miller, is like getting the voices heard of the people that are trying to use TikTok for hip hop, because I think it's such a unique platform. The thing about TikTok is they're different than Twitter and different than Facebook and different than Instagram, is you have the element of getting people that you don't know, strangers, to see the value in what you're putting out through the For You page.
Absolutely.
And you're not just connecting with people you know or like your network that's once removed from you. And I think that's the coolest thing. And it allows people to gain traction.
And not only that, but I think it's a beautiful way to meet people that have similar interests to you. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like when I post a video on TikTok, I'll use hashtags. You know, I'll use my Mac Miller hashtags to reach other Mac heads, and I'll use location tags like New Jersey and you know, places that I frequent. This way I can, you know, gauge people of what's around me. You know what I mean? It's always easy to make content for people that know what you're going through. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so I have a question for you.
Sure.
How many people from your real life have you like organically run into that have found your content?
A couple.
A couple?
Not gonna lie. Sometimes people will DM me like my video, and they're like, "Oh my god, like you're blowing up on TikTok," and I'm like, That's
cool.
Like not,
I think that's cool.
No, not really.
Because I haven't run into that much.
It's cool.
I don't think my platform is big enough. I mean, you're obviously like on a different level than I am, which I think I'm so inspired by you, and I just want to take this time in the interview to say that like I started making Mac Miller content because of Big Fauty. Like,
well, I
there's no other
man.
way, man. Like, I had my personal account, and I was starting to get on Mac Miller TikTok like in, I don't know, maybe May. I mean, even before that, but I just remember starting to see his stuff, and I was like, this guy's interesting because he's like, I mean, he's got this Rainbow Six Siege thing that he likes, but he loves Mac Miller.
Oh,
and I
man,
like that he's so authentic.
I forgot about all that. Golly, man, you really throwing it back now.
Bro. And then there was even a point, like, on my personal account that you duetted a video that...
Yeah, I still have that video, actually. I was looking at it the other day. There's a video, if you don't know, the first video me and Ryan ever, you know, collaborated on, I guess you could say, is just a video of us sitting in our room. I'm wearing my pajamas. I literally just rolled out of bed. I'm dancing in my room to, what is it? It's Faces, something on Faces. Therapy on Faces. And
my favorite track off Faces.
It's just us dancing around, man. I'm sitting there in my PJs. It's hilarious. I love that.
And that's where I learned how to make custom sounds on TikTok, by making those videos. And then I started the account On-Site Sounds.
There you go.
I mean, that's a whole story in of itself.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, my rebrand to Most Dope Sounds has been the best thing ever for me, because
I love that.
It's allowed me to reach more people who clearly see that my niche is Mac, but also that I'm trying to do other things with my platform as well, which I'm so glad that people support it. And also, in terms of community, like you were mentioning before, the coolest thing that I have with my mutuals and the people that I engage with on TikTok is I see the same people liking all and supporting all my posts, which I'm so grateful for. And I see the same names, and like, I hope that the people that do support me know that I see you guys like liking all my posts. You know?
Absolutely. And that goes back to what we're talking about, you know, building community and stuff like that. It's more important, in my opinion, when you're building a follower base, whether it's you're making music or you're making content or whatever it is you're making and you're trying to put out there to people. I think the most important thing is not, you know, how high your follower count is or how many, you know, views you get on the For You page. It's how many consistent people that you have come back to every video. You know, they leave a comment, they share it with their friends, They, they stop by,
Yep.
if you do a live, they stop
Yep.
by your live. They're willing to branch out and check out your content on other platforms. And that's really what's going to help you grow, because, you can blow up on TikTok and you can blow up on Twitter or whatever you want to do, but then you're just isolated on one app. You're isolated on one platform. When you build a community and people that surround you and not just you in this specific area, it's something that extends much further than that one app.
Yeah, totally.
And that's something I think is beautiful.
But I mean, there is a dark side to TikTok as well, which I've run into. But I think I'm doing a better job of managing it now, because I'm getting I become, my tolerance for that kind of crap and negativity has just gone down, and I don't mind deleting comments now.
It's always,
sorry guys.
it's always gonna be people, somebody that wants to just shit on somebody. But the real thing on TikTok, what I see with music creators, is people that are just looking for a response.
Yeah,
they'll come in with some crazy take. You'll respond and be like, "Yo, what are you talking about?" And they're like, "Bro, I got you." And you're like, "What?"
Yeah, they just want a creator to acknowledge them sometimes. I think.
Absolutely.
Which is funny for me, because I always try to engage with a lot of people, so it's you're probably gonna get a response out of me. But I just try to avoid the negativity now, which has been fine. But also maybe right now is a good time for me that so we talked about Brigcanthang. He's got a really good album review type format, and he did a top 30 of his favorite artists series that you should go check out, and I derive a lot of inspiration for him. So
absolutely,
I have a new format with Mac Miller mixtapes and albums that I've started, just guides to kind of parse through the creativity in those projects and give you a guide for not how to listen to them, but how to conceptualize what different songs portray. So I'll have best hype songs, best love songs, best introspective, best melodic, stuff like that. And I think people have really responded to that so far, which has been cool to see.
I love that, because it really gives people a way to
exactly
find easily what they're looking for, and not waste their time. You know what I mean? No one has to go through, because not everybody, as much as it's how I like to listen to music, not everybody wants to listen to it
and especially for a project watching movies with the sound off, which is there's something for everyone on that album, but but some people might not want to sit through every track on that, because it is heavy. If you want to just go listen to the love songs, I pointed them out to you. So yeah,
that's great.
Sure.
Let's switch gears here real quick. I want to talk about something while I got you here. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys saw on part 1, we had a lot of comments, tons of comments, people talking about Mac Miller saved me, Kid Cudi saved me. You know what I mean? Kanye West music saved me. What does that mean to you? When somebody says that an artist saved their life with their music, have you had an experience with that? And if so, and if not, what does that mean to you?
I think at its core, this subject is mental health related, which I'm a big proponent of. I think that we're kind of in a mental health crisis with social media, and especially for young people, it's really hard for developing brains and teenagers to dissociate from their screens and what they're consuming content-wise. So with that kind of dynamic that's going on, and everything with the cards stacked against you mental health-wise, I think finding music that allows you an outlet that just shatters the barrier of any kind of negativity that social media brings, that's kind of where you get the rhetoric that says Mac Miller's music saved me. Because like we've talked about, there's something for everyone. He's created beautiful pieces of art. if you haven't checked out everything in his discography, I think it's worth it to give everything a listen. But I mean, obviously, I'm biased. And honestly, I guess from a broader perspective, I would say that having music save you is a very intimate experience because everyone as a human goes through traumatic things. It's kind of the unescapable human experience. Everyone grieves. Everyone goes through something that shapes them. Very few people walk through life without something that really affects them. And music is such an escape. And it doesn't surprise me that Mac Miller has helped probably tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of... Hell, he has 14 million listeners on Spotify. So millions of people he's probably saved with his music. So those are kind of my thoughts on that.
I think that's a great anecdote. I think it's 100% true, and I think it's true for tons of artists, you know what I mean? We talk a lot about Mac Miller, especially with the type of content I make, the type of content you make. Obviously, that's where we, get our examples from. But there's all sorts of artists all over, whether it be Taylor Swift to...
We love Taylor. We stand Taylor. That new album is fire.
It doesn't matter. Wherever you could find music that you could relate to, that moves you, and that you feel impacts you in some way is a beautiful thing. And I think that's a great place to end here, and something to keep on your mind.
Totally.
So I want to thank you, Ryan, for coming on. This is the first interview we've done. We've got tons more to come. Hopefully we'll even have you on again.
Thank you, Fauty, man.
Awesome
this was such a great conversation. I had so much fun, and
me too, man.
we really bull, man. We really bull.
It's a great time. It's always a good time. So if you guys, like I said before, go check out Ryan's content at Most Dope Sounds on TikTok. It'll be down in the description. You can also follow him on Instagram. You can check me out on TikTok, Big Fauty, if you haven't already. And stay tuned for more interviews. We got a whole ton of people lined up, and there's daily content on TikTok. So thank you guys all for tuning in. Much love, Most Dope, 92 till infinity. Stay safe. Wear a mask.
Wear a mask.
That's all I got to say, man. Have a good rest of your day, guys.